Fire, echoed the cry across the Nile River. The mighty walls of Napata shook as Kushite warriors clashed with invaders. Dust clouded the golden rays of the sun as the Kingdom of Kush faced one of its most defining moments. In the center of the chaos stood Queen Amanirenas, her gold-plated armor shimmering despite the battle's ferocity. She held her bow steady, her fingers gripping an arrow tipped with venom, a reminder to her enemies that Kush fought with both might and strategy. Her dark eyes surveyed the battlefield. The Roman legions had underestimated her again. They had come with their iron swords and disciplined ranks, believing they could crush Kush, but Amanirenas had vowed never to submit. Years earlier, Kush had been a flourishing kingdom. Its capital city, Meroë, was a hub of innovation and culture. Merchants brought silk, spices, and gold into its bustling marketplaces. Temples dedicated to Ammonius, the god of the sun, loomed large, their columns telling stories of past rulers. Kushite women were leaders, warriors, and strategists, a tradition that set the kingdom apart. Amanirenas was no exception. When the Roman Empire expanded into Egypt, Kush's northern neighbor, the tension began to build. Rome demanded tribute from Kush, threatening war if their terms weren't met. To the Romans, Kush was a distant land to exploit, but to Amanirenas it was her people's pride and legacy. She would not bow. The war began with boldness. Amanirenas herself led her troops into Egypt, catching the Romans off guard. With skilled archers and fierce cavalry, the Kushite forces captured key Roman outposts and claimed victory after victory. Amanirenas' tactics were swift and precise, earning her the respect of her warriors. The Romans, however, retaliated with a full invasion into Kushite territory. On this fateful day in Napata, the Romans sought to break the spirit of Kush by destroying its sacred temples. Amanirenas stood as a barrier between them and her kingdom's soul. As the battle raged on, she moved like a storm, her arrows striking with unerring accuracy. Her warriors followed her lead, and their chants filling the air, for Kush. For freedom. The fighting was fierce, and though the Kushite forces were smaller in number, their determination was unmatched. Amanirenas' grit inspired her people, and her strategy wore down the Roman legions. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, the Roman forces retreated, their ranks shattered and morale broken. In the aftermath, Amanirenas stood tall and her face streaked with ash, but her spirit unshaken. She ordered the rebuilding of what had been destroyed and ensuring that Kush rose from the ashes stronger than ever. The Romans never dared to launch another full-scale attack on Kush. Her defiance became legendary, and her name echoed not only in the lands of Kush but across the Nile and beyond. The Kingdom of Kush endured, a testament to the strength, resilience, and leadership of a queen who refused to kneel.